Hello and welcome to episode 200 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now when this podcast started, I made it no secret I had a list of names of dream guests that I wanted on this podcast. People like Jessica Hines, people like Anthony Hopkins, Mads Mikkelsen, Kevin Smith and many more. And all of those have been ticked off in just over 5 years. And now we're at the big 200, there was one name that still remained that I hadn't got on Mark and Me. But that ends today, because I'm joined by that guest, and I personally think there's no one better for me to celebrate this huge milestone than my own dad. So on today's episode, I'm joined by David Woodyatt. Yes, my dad is here. For me, there's only one guest. It's someone I love and adore and is my absolute hero, my idol and someone I respect more than anyone else in the whole world. It's such a personal interview. I'm letting basically all my listeners into my world even more, and I really hope you enjoy today's episode because for me it's something I've now got forever. My dad is 85 years old. He really is someone I've looked up to all my life. And I really can't wait to share this interview in just a couple of moments' time. But before we get there, even at episode 200, I'm not going to change the format. I always like to touch base and talk about my last episode. So on episode 199, I was joined by Matt Tuck, the singer, guitarist and songwriter from the incredible band Bullet for My Valentine. It was a huge episode and one of my most downloaded this year. So a huge thanks to everyone that took the time and listened to this amazing interview. But let's get back to today's episode. I'm celebrating in style. Episode 200. So I think we should get to it straight away. Here's me and my dad talking all things, well, everything. So Dad, thanks for joining me today for episode 200 of the Mark and Me podcast.
No worry at all. Love to see you, mate.
So Dad, what I want to do today for the listeners out there is give them an idea about who you are and all your experiences in life. So what I want to do is take it right back to the very start. So when you were growing up at a really young age, what did you want to do and what did you want to be?
Well, never thought really because of the war. And when I was born in 1937, a couple of years before the war started. We didn't do much at all. Like I started school when I was 5. We used to walk to school down the road, quite a mile, about a mile and a half, 2 miles to the school. My brother used to take me, John. He was 2 years older than me, just over 2 years older than me. And we used to go to another school, and that was it. I never even thought of anything. What do you want to be? Because you didn't, I suppose. Those days.
So what did you enjoy in school? What lessons did you like that were the ones that you actually wanted to go to and that you felt were worthwhile?
Oh, I used to like, I know it sounds silly, I used to like singing in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we used to do woodwork, that was good. And maths, I didn't mind maths. I'm not very good at English, I'm afraid.
No. But you're really good at maths because you used to help me with my homework, and when we used to play darts, you used to be really quick at all the numbers.
Well, yeah, you do, yeah. I used to be in engineering for years, about 40 odd years engineering, so therefore you learn a lot about, you have to use angles and work it out with trigonometry and all that lot, you know. You didn't have calculators them days.
So you said to me earlier on you were born just before World War II, is that right?
Yeah.
So tell me about how it was, because obviously you were very young, but do you remember Grandad Woody going out and having to leave the house and tell you that he's going away for weeks and you might not see him again? How was it?
Well, seriously, I can't remember a lot of that. I remember him when he used to come home and leave, and very rare. We didn't see much of my dad until I was about 6 or 7 before I really met my dad. Like, he used to be at the war. He was in the army. He went right through the war. He was a regular soldier, and he'd just come out being demobbed, and then the war started, so he had to go back in.
So he was free. He was ready to come home and be a family man and do all that. But then, unfortunately, he was called to go out to Germany. Is that right?
Well, he'd go to fight, to try and keep Germany in its place.
So tell me about some of the memories, because I remember sitting with Grandad at Christmas Day and he'd sometimes have a sherry or something and tell us about his days in the war. But he was one of the first on Dunkirk Beach, wasn't he? And he's got so many different stories and memories.
Well, he was on Dunkirk Beach for quite a while, It's hard to believe that how they managed, really, because they'd be in the water up to their chest in the daytime, and at night they used to come back on the beach, and I know it sounds horrible, but they used to pile the dead bodies up to get in between them to keep themselves safe, because the bomb they used to come over at night and that. Yeah, he had a hard life.
It's crazy, isn't it, what he went through and some of the sights he saw. But he used to walk for miles, didn't he? Absolutely miles. I remember saying that he would empty his boots at the end of the day and just water would just pour out because he'd been on his feet all day.
Yes. He said it was horrible, real horrible. They were thirsty, and he said, it even made me laugh once. He said they couldn't shave, nothing to shave. And he shaved it, he used his tea to wash his face, so he get a lather with the soap on his face to have a shave.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
And tell me about the days, because obviously he used to tell me, I remember him saying when he was on the beach and stuff, but he had some really bad times, didn't he? When he lost some of his friends, wasn't there a sniper or something that shot his best friend?
That was after Dunkirk.
Was it?
Yeah, when they went back they had to go back after they came back over to this country after Dunkirk. And regrouped, as they called it, and then they went back. Yeah, when they had to go back again, they were going through some clearing, and him and his mate was shot by a sniper. He was very fortunate because it could have been either one of them, couldn't it?
That's crazy.
Yeah. He said there was one place where they went. There was a big road, and they had to clear it to get across the road. And they was shooting, the Germans were shooting up the road, and there were a lot of blokes holding on to him. He said, screaming, because frightened to death. He said, you just had to take your chance. You either run, get across the road, or you had to go. You had to get across the road.
And as bleak as dark times he had, there was times he'd tell us good stories, wasn't there? So there was times where he told me about, didn't they have to set fire to loads of stock or something?
Oh, that was in Dunkirk.
Yeah.
The NAFI.
Okay.
The NAFI, the NAFI is like a big warehouse for soldiers and that. Well, it was like a big cafe sort of thing place, especially for the forces people. Well, he was one of the blokes. They had to set fire to it, burn it, because the Germans were coming, and they had to set fire to it. Otherwise, they'd have reaped all the cigarettes, booze, and everything. He said he had a bottle of that 69 whiskey and some Craven cigarettes. He said. He said when he was in the water up to his neck, and he threw the fags away. And he said, I'm not having them. He gave up with the fags. They come round, and the little boats came out to him. This was near the end, and they said to him, "Come on." He said he'd been in the water all day, and his legs were so he couldn't move his legs. "Come on, get back in this boat quick!" And they dragged him in. They got him in. He said his feet were numb from being in the water all the time. And the fags had come round, and he picked him up and got in the boat with the cigarettes. Yeah, he said so they didn't do too bad. When he got back over this country, he said it was lovely to have a nice cup of tea, and people welcomed him abroad, welcomed him in. Yeah.
Do you remember those moments, or can you not remember them anymore, when he came home and you knew that he didn't have to go off and fight anymore?
We didn't know this, but this was my brother and me. We got up one morning, we went into to see my mum, and this bloke was there. "Oh, it's Dad." Yeah, he'd come in the night home, he'd walk from the station up to Ulskert, right up to Ulskert,
right,
which is a fair way, really.
Yeah.
And he brought a box of grapes for us. It was lovely. And he had a load of German money,
That's crazy.
But it was no good, but Yeah.
What a surprise for you, though. I bet you and Uncle John were just absolutely ecstatic.
We didn't want to go to school, but we had to. Yeah, we didn't want to go to school that day. We wanted to stop it with my dad, but we had to go to school.
How old were you then? I'm trying to picture it.
Wait a minute, I'd be 7.
Yeah?
7, nearly 8.
So at that point then, did you start enjoying school, or were you like me and didn't like school and used to get in a lot of trouble?
Oh, I had the cane a few times, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I won the short on the list of cranes. What
happened then? Were you just naughty and just didn't like studying or got bored?
No.
Or?
You know, buggered about in the classroom or something. You know, they'd go and stand under the clock. We had to go and stand under the clock, and then the headmaster would come past and say, "Yeah, come on up, woof, woof," with the cane across your hands.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad the cane wasn't around when I was at school, because I probably wouldn't be able to walk anymore.
No, it's only on your hands you had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't be able to move my hands.
You think, oh, hell, that's bloody hell. Yeah, one lad that was with us, Robbie Ruff, they went to give it to him, and he took a swipe at it, he pulled his hand away, and the bloody played out with him, and he go, "Hold your hand there." He wouldn't hold his hand, and they had to hold his hand and whoop it.
Did he get twice as many because he was trying to get away from him?
Well, they just gave up. He was a rough-eyed lad.
What was his name?
Robbie Ruff.
Robbie Ruff.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when you left school. So didn't you then go and... What did you do? Did you go in the army? Did you go and do an apprentice? What did you do?
I went on an apprenticeship at it was Chatwood Engineering, Chatwood Safe Company up Holscott. And then we made redundant in 1982.
But I remember you... I'm sure you were in the army, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
So what age did you go in the army?
Well, I was deferred because we doing an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So we had to have our medical, go to Birmingham, have a medical and all this crap when you were 17, when you were 18, like. And then they got deferred, so I had to have another. But went in the army at the age of 21.
21?
Yeah.
And what did you do when you were in the army?
Bloody roll on the mob. You wanted to get out, actually. It was horrible. The first morning, first week, you couldn't believe it. You thought, "Crap, how long is this going to last?"
How long were you in the army?
Only 2 years. We had to do it, though. It's a government thing.
Right.
National service.
Did you enjoy it after a while, or did you just...
after the first, 6 weeks, like you finish your basic training, and then you go into trade training, so you go to learn to drive and all that lot. I was going to be a driver, so they learned me to drive. It was quite funny, really, because I remember being in the back because you get in the van, in the lorry, I mean, the Bedford RLs there were, the big lorries there were, biggish ones. Well, there'd be about half a dozen of you sitting driving, one at a time, one would come in and then the other one would have a go. And I remember him saying to this one bloke, "Straight across the island," and he did, straight over the island.
Literally.
What the bloody hell happened there? Oh, you daft buggeries. And one day when we was on the parade, when we were doing our training, the officer said, "I told my mum I'd stop swearing, but I got you bloody lot." Oh, he played hell, he did. Oh.
So you enjoyed some of it?
Oh, when you're looking back, it was fun, yeah. It was friendship, it was good. You get plenty of good mates. Oh.
And what did you learn there? Was there stuff about, obviously, discipline? I suppose that's the main thing.
You've got to learn to keep your boots clean. And the boots, they give you the boots and there's all little bubbles on the leather. Well, you have to get all them out and then put polish on them, and they were like gleaming. And then in the morning he'd say, "Those aren't good enough." He'd rub his boot across the bottom of them and take it all off. And the next night you were there again for another couple of hours, putting it back on again.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's just discipline to make you do what you're told.
And do you regret going in it, or are you glad you went in?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have missed it.
No, well, you didn't have an option,
at the time,
did you?
I thought, flipping out. Well, what it was, I'd just come out of my apprenticeship, I was getting nearly £8 a week. That was a lot of money in 1958. You went in the army and you got £1,
A week?
£1 a week, yeah. And you had to buy Blanco, the stuff to do your kit, and you had to buy boot polish, Brasso, and all that other stuff. out of that. And your nappy breaks, you didn't have much chance. And like those days, I used to smoke. But I did stop. Now I don't smoke, but I used to smoke years ago. Because you didn't have much money for anything, really.
So how did you do stuff like? Did you ever get any time off to go for drinks with friends or meet girls or?
Well, we used to go into the town. We used to buy this scrumpy, cider.
Scrumpy Jack?
Yeah. But we used to get the farmhouse one. It was only 8p a pint. That was old money.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really strong, isn't it?
Oh, it is,
Take your head off.
8p it was.
8p for what, a pint?
Yeah, and there was 240 pennies in the pound them days. So 8p, you get a bit of cider, don't you?
Did you used to go out and drink?
I just say, I don't drink. I said, I didn't used to drink beer or anything. So I said, I don't drink. Oh, have a cider. Bloody hell. You knock your head off.
And then you used to go out and party. Did you get to meet girls or were you not?
Well, we used to go down to the dances, yeah. It cost you 2 shillings to get into the dance.
And was there a lot of nice-looking women, or were you not?
Well, you used to have a laugh. You'd try and get off it then you could, wouldn't you? You did it.
That's good.
And I said to one girl one night, I was with my mate, Johnny Woodyatt, his name was. He said, what did you say with that girl? I said to her, where do you live? She said, watch it. I said, bloody hell. I said, I only asked her a question. She said, you daft bugger. He said, the place, watch it, just down the road. I said, Taunton, watch it, in Somerset. There was a place, I didn't know, it was a place called Watch It.
So did you used to go places like the music hall in town? Because isn't that where you saw people like the Beatles live?
Oh, that was when I came out the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because that must be incredible. I suppose they weren't as big as what they were later on, but to see the Beatles live is something that a lot of people would kill to do. Well,
we just used to go to the music. Every Saturday we would be at the music hall.
Right.
And you used to have all the big bands and, and the Beatles there. There was quite a few people there, yeah.
Can you remember any other bands you saw that might be quite big? Was there the Rolling Stones or?
We didn't see the Rolling Stones there, no, to be honest, no.
What were the Beatles like?
They were good, yeah, but we were mostly looking at trying to chat up the women or drinking.
That's crazy. You missed, think about it now if you got to see Paul McCartney and John Lennon again on stage.
Oh yeah, we used to say hello. I said hello to him actually, and I know it's wrong now, but I saw Jimmy Savile.
Oh my God!
He came up. He had a pink Rolls Royce car.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's a wrong un.
And my mate, Mike Gibson, he was a footballer. He picked him up. He said, I had darling, he had blonde hair. Yeah, quite funny when you look back. We had some good times. I remember when there was a Silhouette. The Silhouette people was up Holscott, and they were made garments for women. Bras and things, and swimsuits. Well, Michael Glover was there. My cousin was working there.
Okay.
And one day, and he said to me, come to the musical, they're having their party, Christmas party. So me and my mate, he gave us a couple of tickets to get in. So we went in, and we went in there, and who was behind the bar? Michael Glover.
Oh, bloody hell.
He was giving us these glasses of beer, of sherry, half-pint bottles, glasses of sherry. Bloody hell, they reckon I was talking to one of the pillars on the stairs for half an hour, chatting it up.
That's amazing.
Oh.
So, tell me about your job. So you were in the industry for 40 years?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? I know it's a job that you used to get up. I remember the little minivan picking you up every morning about 5 o'clock and you'd get home really late. I always remember that as a kid at school. You leaving the house really early, before I was even ready for school or doing my paper rounds.
Yeah, but half 6, 7 o'clock, yeah.
How was it? Did you enjoy that job?
No, it wasn't too bad. That was when that was the Soltifix.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite good, actually. Quite good job, actually. But the best was when I was at all engineering in the light machine shop before I went in the army, and when they just came out the army. Yeah, it was good. That was good because you were learning. And I remember saying when I was a kid, the floors are all blocked wood.
Okay.
And of course, being a new lad, they nailed me down to the floor, into the wood, threw me overalls, got me, dick out. And then
What the hell? This has took a bit of a turn.
yeah, and then I used to put like this eye spot. It was like a greasy blue.
Right.
Grease all over you. So,
With your dick out, you're sitting there painted blue.
yeah. And it's part of you growing up there. Yeah.
I've not seen that film. It sounds like Avatar, but a porno version.
I'll tell you one thing. You did it,
Christ, was that kind of your like initiation to get into it? Was that
it's part of your engineering, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody went through it, really. I think they don't do it nowadays. And then you'd be doing a job on like file that down to so and so to the mark, and you'd be filing away, bat across the head, give you a smack across the head, all the file properly, like I showed you. But you learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you said you get a few bats around your head. I remember when I started there, of course I was only a young kid, 15. I had my school cap on, and one of the lads got hold of it. What the bloody hell's this? He said, it's got a hat, and he took it and threw it up on the girders, up on the roof, in the roof.
So you lost your hat?
Yeah, I lost it, yeah.
What an arsehole.
Oh, well. But it was, when you look back, we had some, there's quite a bit of, a lot of people there. There used to be thousands working there. Well, must be getting on for a fair few, and they were repairing the naval guns.
Right.
From the war, the bigger, what they had on ships. And they used to say, look. They used to say, what's that for? That's like a telescope, you look through it. And of course you didn't realise, you'd put looking at it. And they'd put all this bloody blue on it because you walk out, all your eyes are all blue then. All around it.
Did they do any work, or was it all just pissing around?
No, they did a lot of work. You had to work to a time.
Right.
We used to start work at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we didn't finish till 5 at night.
That's a long day.
Yeah. And the first wages I got for a week, by the time I paid my national insurance and all that, I was £1 and 2 shillings.
Tell me about how you met Mum then, because I don't know all the story about this, and this is a good chance to find out. So, Mum obviously came into your life. Tell me about the first time you met her.
This was in 1976.
Right.
Early 76. I was at work with the lad, and he was telling me about this girl who moved in a flat up on Wild Cop.
Okay.
Oh, and I said, he said, I was living in this house on my own, like, so he said, why didn't you, I've been telling her about you, she said she wants to meet you, so a blind date. I said, we'll have a blind date. So I went to meet her at the Lion Hotel on the Cop.
Right.
I was sitting in there, and she come in, I thought, that can't be her, and she come up, and it was her, yeah.
Why did you think that can't be her?
Well, she looked quite nice, I thought, no.
Looked quite nice. Mum will listen to this. So she looked lovely?
Yeah.
And how did the date go?
Oh, it went all right. It was at night. This was at night, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a few drinks, yeah.
I don't want to know any more of the information, but it went well.
Yeah, it went well, yeah, we did. We had a laugh.
And then you continued to see her for a bit?
Yeah, I used to call and see her on my way to work, because I used to work nights sometimes.
Right. And where was she then? Was she living...
on the Cop still.
Oh, still there?
Yeah, I used to park my car and go and see her. This was early 70s, in the 70s.
Late 70s?
Yeah. Mm.
So then in 1982, I came along.
Yeah, well, we got married in 77.
Yeah. 77, so you'd only met her a year before you got married?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's good going.
Yeah, well, she moved in not long after, because she was on the flat, so she moved in here.
The house we're in today?
Yeah, in here, yeah.
And then what, you asked her to marry you?
Well, we just got married, though. We never even asked. We just go out to have a good laugh. Oh.
And then you decided to have me, or was I not planned?
Well, I've always wanted a lad. No, I did. I wanted a lad. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And when she said she was pregnant, I thought, bloody hell. To be honest, I said, bloody hell. Surely not. But we were managing all right, money-wise, like. So, when was it? Oh, on Saturday morning it was, she said, I think I'm starting to have
Contractions?
Yeah. I said, come on then, we'll go up to the hospital. So we had a dog then, so I fed the dog and he was all right. So we went up to the hospital and she should have been there earlier. So you were born, we got there about 10 o'clock, 10:30, and you were born at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's not long at all.
No, and they put you, I saw you coming out, I was there with the legs. I thought, bloody hell. Nice experience. And then when I saw you, they put you in a little cot, and I was kneeling down by the cot looking at you. And this nurse said to me, oh, you wanted it? I said, yes, definitely. He's my lad.
Don't I have little red hair?
Gingery hair. I thought, bloody hell, where'd he come from?
Is he definitely mine?
I've got the right one, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, life was good, really, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then you came home and you had this trouble with your milk. You cuddle you and you'd be sickled in your pack or something. Oh, bloody hell.
Did I just not keep the milk down?
No, you have to have special stuff mixed with your milk. Nesta gel or something, I think it was called.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, but your mum coped. She's fair dues, she did well.
Then me growing up, was it hard being a dad? Were you away at work all day and leaving mum to look after me, or did you find a good balance?
Well, I had to go to work.
Yeah.
I was working and quite a lot actually. We worked quite a bit, doing all these hours. And then I used to come home, and then you'd be there, we'd have our tea together. And you used to be off somewhere, go into football or something, we said, get on, well, we got on well now. You will, to be honest, you were a little sod when you were a kid. I thought, bloody hell. How are we going to cope? But fair dues, you turned out well now.
Was it just me at school always getting in trouble and suspended and after school detention and getting kicked off the bus and just being a little bastard?
I know it sounds bad. And that time when you got drunk and you spewed up outside the vicarage.
Yeah.
Your mum was, flipping heck. But I said it's part of growing up.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys. Like, we didn't have the chance when we were kids. There was nothing. When I was his age, we had nothing, like.
So you knew why I was doing it and you just knew it was part of
growing up. Like when we were kids, my brother and me, when we come home from school, like you come home from school, we'd have your tea and we'd have a laugh and all that lot. Or you go down the field playing football or something.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, we come home from school. This is when I was 5 and 6. We had to put the blackouts up. You know, these like black curtains. You had to pin them up on the wall. Put them up on the curtains, on the windows.
Right.
Because of the bombers coming over. They didn't have your lights showing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were bombing Coventry and Manchester, and Birmingham. You could see the glow in the sky, the burning buildings being burned. Yeah, horrible.
To make it more positive, tell me about, obviously, when you retired. So you got made redundant in doing this work at Stadco and Saltafix and all that, in that trade. But then you went completely different and started doing gardening, didn't you? And going to retail parks.
When I made redundant from Saltafix,
yeah,
I got a job cleaning in the pub.
Yeah.
I did that one, and I was cleaning at the blind school. Then I had a cleaning at this college, one of the colleges. And then I got this job. I went to the job centre, and I got a job as a caretaker at the school.
Yeah.
And of course, I on the cutting, doing cuts, so I was the last one in, first out. But then I got a job at picking up the litter at the retail park at Meal Brace.
Yeah.
And that was all right. It was a good. And then they wanted me to do with any gardening. I said, I'll have a go, And then they got me a little van. I had a van. And the dog used to come with me, but we had this van. I used to cut the grass, cut the edges, and all that, pick up the litter first thing, then go around with the van and cut the do the hedges or cut the grass. You had weed. We had to go on a course to do some weeds, spraying weeds and all that lot. So we did all that, yeah.
But then you kind of fell in love with gardening, didn't you? Because now it's your favourite thing and how you spend all your time. But that must have been the moment that you really enjoyed planting and doing all the different seeding and all the stuff that you do.
Well, before, be truthful, I didn't like gardening.
No.
Like my mum used to say, gosh, why doesn't he love God? Doing a bit of gardening is like a tip. And all of a sudden, it's like a turn the coin over. I just changed. And I've come home from Lyndhurst. I had their tools like to cut the lawn, a big mower to cut the lawns and trim all around with the trimmers and edge cutters. And it was nice, yeah. I used to go to Stoke. I used to go to Redditch, cutting grass. Yeah, we used to go to Newtown.
So then when you retired, you obviously still do the gardening, because that's how I remember now the last kind of 10 years of my life is always coming here and you being in the greenhouse or doing the lawns or doing hundreds of seeds in the sheds. Like, that's your life now, isn't it?
I like this. Yeah, I've got nothing else here, have I, Pop?
No.
It's all I've got now. And so what I do now is get on, like, look after me tomatoes, and I go mad with tomatoes. I don't know why. But I've got this year, I've grown quite a few begonias, some salvias, some asters, some silverleaf, marigolds. I've got them all in the greenhouse.
But that's what you do, don't you? You just literally get up and you spend your retirement doing the garden, keeping it pristine. Like, you're really particular about how the lawn should be and the rockery. And is it just to be peaceful and get away and just feel relaxed? Why do you do it?
It's hard to say why I do it. It keeps you out fit, keeps you fit by doing a bit out of the garden, keeps you good. But at the same time, it's nice to see something growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trouble is, bloody weeds grows quicker than the plants.
And talk to me, because obviously we've become closer over the last sort of 10 years, and especially over the last few years now I've been living closer to home and my life's changed. But talk to me about when we went to New York, because all I remember is growing up, our holidays were always like Barmouth or a caravan in Rhyl or somewhere like that. But then me and you went to New York, didn't we? For your 80th birthday.
You took me for my 80th birthday. Well, we went when I was 79.
Yeah.
You said, in case I don't make it.
I didn't mean it like that, but it was a lot of money, and I was like, let's go now.
Said, we'll go now in case you don't make it to 80. So we went, and I couldn't believe it.
No.
It was absolutely gorgeous. Oh, you looked after me something awful. We went over the Brooklyn Bridge, up the new tower. The
Freedom Tower?
Yeah, we went up there, yeah. We went everywhere, really, yeah.
And did you love the way the city was? Because it must have been like something you've never seen before. There's traffic, there's taxis, it never sleeps, does it? It literally was full on. We could go and get food at 2 a.m. We could have...
Well, we used to go and get food, and we used to go and get a pizza. A piece of pizza. It's a quid, wasn't it?
$1.
$1, I mean, for the pizza. But that time it amazed me when we went in the Statue of Liberty. We went inside it, and you went right up into the real top.
To the crown.
Yeah. But you couldn't believe how big it is. When you see it on the telly, you don't really you see it on the television now, and you think, oh. But when you think you've been up inside that, it's hard to believe. Massive place.
And remember when we went to Philadelphia?
Yeah, it was nice. That was.
So you had no idea about that, did you?
No, we went to see Philadelphia. We got the blood station. I thought, bloody hell, we're going to get lost. It was a big place, New York, like, isn't it? And then we went to Philadelphia on the bus, and we got off the bus and went into this thing, and that Mike, I think his name was.
Mike.
He said, you must be getting 80 now. Getting to 80. What's your name? Dave, isn't it? I thought, bloody hell, how do you know this? Nosy soda. But then he was all market. You'd planned it for me to go and see where Rocky was born, where Rocky was fighting and all that lot.
All the filming sets and...
Yeah, we went up the steps at the top.
We saw Adrian's pet shop.
And her funeral. Her
gravestone.
grave, yeah. We saw all that.
And where the priest is out the window.
Yeah, we saw all that, yeah. It was unbelievable, really. This bloke was telling us, but he said it's all run down now.
Yeah.
But it was a lovely place, oh.
And do you remember the food that we had?
Oh, bloody hell. That one place we went to, I thought, how long do they think we're here for?
The Philadelphia cheesesteak. Do you remember?
It was about over a foot long, wasn't it?
And then I took you to SummerSlam Wrestling.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
That was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even though you don't like wrestling very much or know much about it, there would be a million people out there that would kill for a ticket to go and see these huge athletes. It must have been, it was thousands of people, wasn't there? We watched it and then we saw SummerSlam for 2 years running.
Yeah, but that was second time.
Yeah.
When we went, I was 80 and there was these wrestlers, they were all there, and even the women wrestlers, and you said to the one, it's his birthday, she came up and grabbed hold of me. We had a
cuddle?
Yeah.
That was Nikki Bella.
I don't know her name was. She was nice though, yeah.
And you met AJ Styles, you met Seth Rollins.
That one said to me, because he said to me, I like your t-shirt. I said, yours in the best. He had a nice t-shirt on, yeah.
That was AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Well, yeah, he had a good laugh with him.
Yeah, it was not a bad time, was it?
Yeah, and we went to see... what was that film we went to see?
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day in New York. We went to see the show.
Yeah, the musical.
Yeah, it was good. That was all.
That was a good surprise because you had no idea, did you?
No.
And is that your favourite film, do you reckon?
You said to me, get dressed. Put something tidy on. Well, we just walking around in New York and just left sandals and shorts most of the time and t-shirts. We were very fortunate. Yeah, the weather was good.
Would you say Groundhog Day is your favourite film?
It was one of them. Yeah, it's a good film. Yeah.
What did you think of the musical? Because
it was good. How they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And we had these good seats right in the centre. We could see everything, couldn't you?
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not a bad birthday present.
No.
And do you want to go back, or do you think that time's done now?
No, I'd like to go back, but your mum wouldn't let me. No, she wouldn't let me go. No.
We got 2 trips out of it, didn't we?
Well, we had a couple of trips, yeah.
And then I took you to New Jersey, and we went to Kevin Smith's comic shop, and we went to the shop that they filmed Clerks in. Do you remember? It was a really hot summer's day.
Yeah, and we went for breakfast, didn't we, to that place. And I said, I'll have a poached egg. You said, what do you have? I said, I'll have poached egg or something on toast. And the toast came with all, I thought, bloody hell, how long were we here for?
The diner, in New Jersey. It was beautiful.
It was, They did the eggs separate, like in a little dish. And then we had like all these like square potatoes, they were.
Yeah.
And nice, and then you had your toast. I thought, flipping heck.
And it was only a couple of dollars.
It was only cheap, yeah.
I missed that place. It was a good time, wasn't it?
And that time near the hotel, where we just round the corner in the hotel, we went round the corner. And I said, I'll have a sandwich.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll have a beef sandwich if they got beef sandwich. And when it came, I thought, bloody hell. They had to stick to all the 2 ends of the bread together.
There must have been 20 slices of beef in that.
Oh, at least, yeah. I had to take the top off and eat the meat first. And then, but it's nice. It was nice.
That was a good holiday, wasn't it?
One of the best holidays I've ever had, that was, yeah.
Yeah, it was good days.
We had some fun.
We did. It was really good. And
we've never argued, have we?
Never?
No.
Not since I was a kid, I don't think.
No. I've never hit you.
Never?
No, never, no.
That's probably what you needed to do. That's why I was so naughty.
No, I didn't believe it. No, I had a bloody whopping when I was at school.
Yeah.
My dad never hit me, though.
Never?
No.
He's a good soul, wasn't he?
Well, when we were kids, growing up Holscott, they used to knock on the door. Come, Mr. Woodyatt, come out to play. Because he'd be out with us. Oh.
Grandad Woody.
Yeah. I remember we had an alleyway going down. There was like bottom of our garden and all the prefabs.
Right.
Well, from the refugees from the war, you came there from Liverpool and all that. Because they were bombing them, they brought them down here to stay for place.
Yeah.
So they built all these prefabs. And one night he was shaking the tablecloth. He always had a tablecloth them days.
Right.
And we were walking down the alleyway, which is about 30 yards, 20, 30 yards. I got 30 yards. And he heard us, and he got down the bottom, and he put it over his head like a ghost. Whoa! He said, bloody hell, he said, we moved that alleyway. Our mum told him off.
He was a good joker.
Oh, he was a good lad. Yeah.
I do miss Grandad. He was a star. He was so. How old was he when he passed away?
94, nearly 95.
95, and he was so switched on. He lived on his own. He made all his own meals, and he never had a carer. He was never in a wheelchair, and he was the strongest man I ever know. Even when he died, I stood there in the hospital, and he squeezed my hand harder than anyone. And he was like an ox, wasn't he?
Well, I can imagine what he did when he was kids, like when he was a kid. No, he was strong as a horse, my dad.
Yeah.
He was a good gardener. That's why. But my granddad, my dad's dad, was a head gardener at Tickwood Hall, which is down near Bridge Northway.
Right.
And I think that's where they get it from.
Yeah?
Yeah. It must be in the genes somewhere.
So how old are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
84.
84.
I'll be 85 in July.
Do you feel 85?
Well, I don't know really. I don't know how you're supposed to feel when you're 85.
Everyone I know that meets you and when I introduce you to people never believes that that's your age. You can see some 85-year-olds that are really old and all kind of, they're in wheelchairs or they can hardly walk or they're in homes, but you're still energetic. You still play with the dogs. You seem to be up early, doing gardening, doing everything you need to do. You don't seem like an 85-year-old.
Well, I get up roughly about 6:30 every morning.
Yeah.
I take your mum a cup of tea, have my breakfast.
Yeah.
I go make the bed, because it's a big bed. I go make all that, pull the sheets out and all that, tidy it up properly. Because I always make the bed, strip it right off and start again,
Yeah.
Because that's the way you've been taught in the army.
But why do you think you still got the energy and you still keep ticking and you just, you're so strong? What are you doing that's keeping you so fit?
I think it might be in my genes, Pop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because of Grandad?
My dad's dad was 6'6".
Yeah.
One of his sons was 6'4", 6'5". My dad was 6'2". You know what I mean? They were all big people. So my dad, though, when he was a kid, he was fit.
Very.
Yeah. He used to get up. He had to go milk cows in the morning before he went to school.
And are you happy now? Are you glad the way life's turned out for you with me and Mum and?
Well, I know it's your ear now, but I'd do anything for you.
Yeah.
I think you're the tops.
That's good. I feel the same way for you. You're my hero.
Yeah, you're my hero, mate.
That's good.
At the time, I thought you were going to grow up. I thought, bloody hell. But you've turned out well.
And do you like the way that life is now with me and Leah and the girls, Florence and Billy, and the way that we are only just down the road and we see you all the time? And
I like her. I like Leah.
She's a good egg.
Yes, she's nice. And what I like about her, she cooks your meals, she looks after you, and joins you in doing what you want to do. Yeah, I think you and her seem to be like a pair, born together.
Like a team.
Yeah, you got to work as a team, Mark.
Yeah.
You got to be as a team. I remember when you were at school, I used to talk to you, and I remember when you were at Church Stretton School, games day or something it was.
Sports day.
That's it. 10 things you had. 10 events.
Right.
Running and all sorts, and they give you 10 gold. You had a gold for everyone, and the one of the teachers said to you, "You've got a gift. Why don't you? You're gifted for athletics and that, but you never took it up."
I like drinking and being in bands and playing guitar and.
Well, yeah, you went the wrong. You took a different stage. You took a different turning. Yeah, but you could have been a good athlete, but you chose not to be. So it's up to you. You got to make your own choice in life.
Yeah.
I've made some bloody weird changes in my life, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
But I don't drink milk. I don't drink.
No.
I like water. And when you go for the cafe, do you want to drink? No, I'll have water. They look at you a bit bloody, but I don't like it.
No, that's fair enough.
No.
And what
I like
have
food.
Yeah, you bloody love your food.
Yeah.
And you're cooking all the time.
Yeah, I do. I like shopping. I do.
There's no one in the world that can get to Lidl quicker than you to find the reduced things. Everyone that knows you laughs, but it's true, isn't it?
Well, it opens on a Sunday at 9 o'clock, at 9:30. I'm there at 9:15. I'll be there early. And if I go in the week, it opens at 8 o'clock. I'll be there at 7:45.
And you're determined.
Yeah.
So what have you learnt from life? So if there's people listening today from someone that's nearly 85, what's some lessons that you can tell people in life that make it easier for people?
Well, don't envy other people. Do what you want to do.
Yeah?
Some people say, bloody hell, he's lucky. But he's worked for it. Some of these people, have got a golden silver spoon in their mouth. But if you haven't, that's it. You've got to make the best of it. When we were kids, we had bugger all. We didn't have nothing. We had didn't have no toys or anything like that. All I had was a bloody catapult. That's right. We used to have a catapult. We used to go to Ormond Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we was at school once. We had no sweets or anything like that. When we was at school once, this was during the war, the American servicemen were coming past in these lorries. One of them stopped once and brought in a jar of sweets.
Right.
And we had to line up for one sweet at school. Line up to school for one sweet. And I used to take it out of my mind to look at it. I didn't know what it bloody was after that because we hadn't had anything like that.
So now you must be loving it that you can just have a whole bag of sweets to yourself.
But I don't eat sweets now.
No, I do.
Yeah. I've gone off chocolate and all, sweet stuff, but I like savoury. I like pork pies and sausage rolls.
This is the content that people are waiting for now, finding out what your favourite food is. These listeners now are turning off thinking, bloody hell, pork pies.
Yeah, but I don't drink. I used to smoke, but until you stopped me smoking.
Yeah.
Because when you were little one, we took you to the doctors because you were cough. Nothing wrong with him. And somebody said to me once, it must be your cigarettes that's doing it. I thought it didn't have to do with cigarettes. So one night I didn't smoke in the house and you didn't cough. Following day I had a fag and you coughed. I never had another cigarette from that day till this.
That's some determination.
Yeah, because you're so much to me, you mean so much to me that I thought, no, can't put his life in danger. No. And I never had another cigarette. It was hard, but I didn't have another cigarette. Yeah.
Have you enjoyed today's podcast? Do you like sitting here talking? Does it feel different?
It's nice to have a chat to you without your mum interfering. You're saying, what are you doing now?
It's good, isn't it? We should do it more often, then you get more freedom without mum around.
Well, she's a good one, but she does get on your nerves sometimes. So.
That's fair enough.
Well, nobody goes perfect. I'm not bloody perfect for a start.
No, that's fine, and you're happy.
Well, I'm as happy as it can be, yeah.
That's good, and I like that we've got this, so this is something we can have forever. So even if you're no longer here in 20 years, we've got this recording and the whole world out there can hear us and find out about my dad.
I hope the world stays nice. Like people moaning now about the heating because of the gas. But we're lucky, the weather's changed.
It's nice.
So you've got to just cut your cloth to suit.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the lesson you need in life.
Yeah. I've not been fun. I haven't got a fancy mobile phone. I got one that I put £20 on it. One of these pay-as-you-go, £20 on it. I still got about £15, and that was 5 years ago.
Do you remember they rang up because they thought you might be dead because you hadn't used it for about 2.5 years?
Yeah, and you just thought...
He's here. He's actually sat by me. He's not dead. So what I do, Dad, on this podcast at the very end is I put a song on. And you get to choose the song. So whoever comes on the podcast, it doesn't matter. You know I've had on the podcast, you've seen people like Anthony Hopkins and Kevin Smith and even Mike, who took us around Philadelphia. They've all been on the podcast. And
but they're famous. I'm not.
I know, but you're famous to me. And that's why I wanted you here for 200. But those people get to choose the song that's played at the very end. So when this is all done, and I've finished it and I've put it out there, which won't be long, what's one of your favourite songs in the world that you want to be played at the very end? What's a song that you love? I know there's loads. I know you love Pavarotti and Mario Lanza and Elvis, but what's the song that means the most to you? You can have whatever you want.
I'd like Mario Lanza, I think.
Mario Lanza?
Yeah.
More than Pavarotti?
Well, I think so, because I didn't... Pagliotti's good, he was good.
And Queen, you like Freddie Mercury?
Oh, Freddie Mercury, he's number one, isn't he?
Yeah.
I like Fred.
So do you want Fred or do you want Mario Lanza? Mario Lanza.
Mario Lanza, I think, yeah.
What song?
The
Great Crusoe.
Oh, no, I Walk With God.
I Walk With God?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all done now. I'm going to stop recording.
But it's been nice to have a chat.
Good.
But the secret of life is to just carry on with your own and don't treat people how you'd like to be treated.
Yeah. That's a good one to end on.
Yeah, to treat people nice. If they treat you nice, you treat them nice. You want to be treated properly. There's some people go around, all they want to do is cause trouble.
Yeah.
Well, they're no good. They're not the nice people. Life's short, actually. It soon goes.
I'm 40 now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You're 40.
It's mad.
Yeah. But if you don't live your life how you want to live it, you might as well give up.
That's
I
good.
mean, sometimes sometimes I've done the time I've had bugger all to eat. You know, I just had Weetabix or something. All you can afford is Weetabix, but you just carry on. But always try and save a little bit of money. Save a little bit, and then you've got it for you, behind you. I don't get no bloody interest now on it, but I've got enough to bury myself. That's all I need.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not going to leave any. I'm going to leave some money to people, but we've got a house here now. It's paid for.
Yeah. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Well, you've done well.
Yeah. Well, we have. Yeah. I haven't been like some people that work. They used to say they used to work their money was how much pints.
Yeah.
On the beer, like that's a bloody pint of beer. Beer means nothing to me. I wouldn't bother with it.
You enjoyed today?
Yeah, it's been very nice. Yeah.
Do you want to say hello and thank you to the listeners?
Well, thank you anybody who's listening to this.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it, because I've enjoyed talking to my lad.
Good.
I know I call him the Pop. I call him Pop.
That's me.
Yeah, the puppy dog. Well, he's my puppy dog, but he's a good one.
There you go. Anything else you want to say before we stop? Nothing?
No, thank you very much for. Yeah, I'm pleased. My lad is. Well, he's a good one.
There you go.
And my plants, my tomatoes are doing well. I've got about, I don't know how many begonias, bedding begonias. My salvias are done good. Everything's turning out well this year.
Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's life's nice, yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I'm going to stop recording, and thanks for coming on.
No, anytime.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, certainly.
We'll have some lunch now, yeah?
I'll put the kettle on.
Brilliant. So there it is. There's episode 200 with me and my dad. The perfect guest for this podcast, and someone that was always going to be the big episode 200 for me. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it just as much as me. I sometimes believe when I release an episode of Mark and Me that I'm releasing like a page of my diary for you guys out there to read out loud. And I don't think it gets much more personal than my own family. But I'm not holding back, and I'm so glad I left this episode completely unedited. And hey, I really hope you've enjoyed it. My dad is my absolute world, and I have this interview now for the rest of my life. You can never take anything for granted, and life can throw some huge surprises at you, but no one can ever take this from me, and now I've got it forever. And for me, that's absolutely priceless. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please share it. Go onto Facebook, Twitter or Instagram and just hit that retweet button, or share it on your stories on Instagram. It goes a long way and really gets the name of Mark and Me out there and costs you absolutely nothing. So if you've really enjoyed today's episode, go on markandme.com and all the links are on there. If you've really enjoyed today's episode and want to support the podcast on another level, I do have a Patreon account. Each and every month, thanks to my amazing friends at Richer Sounds, I have some incredible prizes to give back to say thank you for supporting me via Patreon. But not only that, you're now going to start getting some exclusive interviews that are just for Patreon members. No one else will get to hear these interviews, only you guys that support me via Patreon. But you're getting at least 8 episodes every single month, and that's for as little as £1. So please, if you've enjoyed today's episode, the link is on markandme.com. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I was unsure just about how personal to be, but this is the unedited version of me and my dad, my absolute world, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back in only a few days' time with a brand new episode, so until then, take care of yourself, be safe, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
I'll walk with God from this day on. His helping hand I'll lean upon. This is my prayer. No death, though eyes grow dim. There is no fear.